Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking all about peonies with the following chart that has three categories: facts, deeper meaning, and when. By facts, I mean historical facts. By deeper meaning, I mean the symbol behind the flower, depending on the culture or the religion that we might be talking about. And by when, I'm referring to a specific holiday or date that you might gift this flower to someone else or even to yourself. It is said that peonies originated from three specific regions: Europe, Asia, and Western North America, and you can see them here in the map that I put up in the video. At the same time, it is said that the specific country was in the Asian area due to it being China, and it is said that China was one of the main countries that helped peonies become so popular. It is said that this was during the Tang Dynasty or the 7th century BC, and it is said that peonies were gardened in the central palace in China and during the Tang Dynasty, and it became such a popular flower to the point that it was recognized as the national flower of China, even though it wasn't the official flower, because later on the official flower became the plum blossom. However, peonies became so popular to the point that it was recognized as the national flower even though it wasn't the official one. And this is further highlighted because the peonies influence spread to the point that it went to France and Europe and even to America, to the point where many different countries were able to cultivate the peonies, and over 6,500 varieties of peonies were able to be cultivated. And there's also a company and a society, the American Peony Society, that was developed in order to keep track of the peonies because there were so many varieties that were coming up, and it highlighted how important peonies became throughout many different countries to the point that many people were gardening them. And peonies become so important because of a lot of reasons. There were biological and then later on spiritual reasons. For example, biologically, the peony could grow up to 10 inches wide. The petals could grow up to 10 inches wide, which made the flower be very beautiful, and people were attracted to that because you could see every single detail and every single petal. Another biological factor is that peonies could live up to 100 years, which was such a shocking factor due to the changing temperatures and the soil and the many different factors that come in when you're growing a plant, and peonies could endure all of this and live up to 100 years. Another factor is that peonies were considered a medical herb in different cultures. In Chinese culture, they were considered very important as they were used to treat inflammation and headaches and just physical pains overall, to the point that even in Europe, they were being used to treat these pains that people were having. And it became such an important medical herb that sometimes it was even used to treat kidney failure. Obviously, in modern times, peonies are not used as much. However, for various centuries, peonies were used because they didn't have modern medicine that we now have, so we don't need peonies. However, at the time, it was a very important medical herb that was used to treat people. Therefore, peonies became such a popular flower all around the world as it had medical reasons and it could help people survive and help their immune system. Apart from these biological factors that made peonies so important, there were other more symbolization and spiritual factors. For example, in Greek mythology, it is said that peonies were named by the goddess Hera, and she's the goddess of love and marriage. And it is said that Hera named the peonies after Peon, who is one of the most important physicians of the gods, the person that treated their wounds after they came back from war or from fighting. And it is said that during this time, the history behind this is that Peon at some point treated Zeus, who was hurt, and then Peon's teacher, Asclepius, who is the god of medicine and the god of healing, he got jealous, and in order to protect Peon, Zeus made Peon into a flower. And it is said that Peon was a person that was representative of flowers and healing. Even though the person that made the flower was Asclepius, and Hera named the flower that Asclepius made as after Peon, and it was named peonies, it is said that peonies represent this healing and this medicine, and it is seen as creating balance in your body and in your mind due to it being a representation of healing from both Peon and Asclepius, as they both had medical representations for them. Also, contrasting to this, in Chinese mythology, peonies are meant to represent love and beauty and femininity due to the goddess Shi Wangmu. Shi Wangmu is the goddess of beauty, fertility, and femininity, and it's said that in her palace and in her gardens, peonies were supposed to be gardened there and decorating the walls of the palace. Therefore, it is said that peonies are a representation of love, beauty, and fertility. Therefore, in Chinese mythology, that's what it means. However, even though these two have contrasting meanings, it is said that with love and beauty, there's a lot of healing that is necessary and balance that comes with healing. Therefore, I would say that even though it means different things, there's still some connection because you need healing and you need peace and love. In Japanese culture, it is said that peonies represent the passing of time and the present time. Due to them being in blossom during the springtime, it is said that they represent the fleeting moment that life is. Therefore, it is said that peonies blossoming in spring is such an important moment to the point that many Japanese people go to gardens and they go to see peonies blossom as they're such an important moment and it represents a fleeting moment. Therefore, they want to go and appreciate what's happening, which is the same thing with love, as love is seen as a fleeting thing because you don't have enough time to be with that person. Therefore, even though all of these have different meanings, they can still be connected to love and it being a representation of love. And this is also highlighted during the Victorian era. During the Victorian era, peonies were gifted to someone in order to show your interest in that person, to show that you wanted to be with them and explore things with them. And it is because of this that peonies are a representation of love and interest. And due to all of these significations and all of these symbolisms throughout different mythologies, eras, and cultures, I would say that peonies are best gifted during weddings, and they're best used during weddings as a bouquet for the bride to represent commitment and to represent interest, love, passion, and at the same time to show calmness that comes with weddings, as it is seen in the healing part of the Greek mythology, as you need a healthy relationship. Therefore, the peonies being a bouquet in a wedding represents this healing, this peace. At the same time, it shows love and the fleeting moment that just life is and marriage is. Therefore, you should enjoy marriage. Therefore, overall, I think that peonies are best used during weddings and for the bride to have to represent this union of marriage.